Let's see if this works. Greetings. Hello. Better. Hello and welcome. It's time for me to make a video again for some reason. Well, there is one reason. Wow, the last few days were funny as fuck. All of the PlayStation fanboys are crying their asses out, okay? Because I don't think they have tears left. Make of this joke what you will. With the whole, PlayStation will stop making discs in the next 1.5 years. So in 2028, there will be no physical media for games anymore on Sony's PlayStation. Right at the exact time, Sony comes out with the next console, which will be digital only. And everybody is crying. Like this wasn't a thing that we all was not. The writing wasn't even on the wall. It was in the inside of our eyelids already. Okay, we saw this every time we closed our eyes. No? That physical media was. I mean, for the PC gaming crowd, this isn't for the last 10 years reality. I mean, I have probably 1,000 physical discs laying around on the background here. If you know older videos of me where the camera faces this way, there's a whole wall, big boxes, small boxes, emeralds, CD cases, booklets. I don't know, there's so much here laying around collecting dust. Not because I wanted to collect them, just because I'm coming from the age where physical media was the only thing to have. And I like what I have now, because most of the stuff is either no longer available, or you have to pay twice, triple, or quadruple for the remake. And all the console players going, where, I will cancel my, and they all post online, I'm cancelled my subscription to my Plus account. And yeah, and the next moment you posted that, you reinstated it. Because that's what they always do. Where, I'm doing the thing that makes everybody happy. Where, I'm too big of a pussy to actually go through with it. As I can remember back in the days, everything bad in gaming, okay, did come from the console space. Most of the time it started in the mobile space later on, but everything bad that came to gaming was introduced, tested, harvested, and collected on the consoles first. All the microtransactions, all the DLC bullshit. And where did it always end? With the PC crowd. Because they were actually the ones standing against it. Not the console gamers. They were never and ever in any way. Show me one case. I would love to see one. Because I haven't seen one to this point. If there is one, great. But I don't believe there is. Because it's always what they do. Cry and then comply. You know? That actually should be on there. First they cry, then they comply, and then they buy. Yeah, they should be on a t-shirt, actually. Because that's how that's why we call console players console peasants. Because they comply with everything that comes from the top up, down. Every shit, they open their mouths. Oh, mana from the heavens. Gug, 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 gug. That's all they do. Always. That's why Sony hasn't even made a reply. Or they just wait until the storm passes them and then go on like nothing happens. As always. I mean, I was actually looking into... in those EVA cards I've seen recently. I only have the game at the moment. The console takes a little bit longer for some reason. Almost the end of the year, because apparently so many people buying that one now, because there's all kinds of classic games, Duke Nukem stuff. The console I was ordering came with Tomb Raider, apparently. I hope it is worth the money. And there's actually old games on cartridges. Yeah. The Toxic Bible. I don't know. Saved her contact as Heaven on Earth, but realized it was too long, so I abbreviated it. Ah. Interesting. And it lays right next to my version of the Satanic Bible. Fun read on the toilet, yeah. That's why I have the Reader's Edition. Just for a joke. I don't do that shit, but it's always fun to basically notch in on the side. Found some interesting people until they got a little bit too much into it and now celebrating weird things that I have nothing to do with that. But back to the topic, yeah. Gaming will change in the next couple of years, definitely. I mean, a couple of, let's just say, the more resilient gamers will probably go over to PC. The majority will then eat their own words and then will buy the probably way over $1,000 new console, because we are already edging that point. And they're already saying that the PlayStation 6 will probably be double what the Steam Cube now is. What was it? Steam Machine? The Gabe Cube was it? Yeah. I don't know. I don't really give a much of a fuck about this. I was more interested in the operating system, because that was the major point of it, because that what drove the whole thing. Okay? The whole development of a new operating system for gamers. Again, who and in what area did all of this solving a problem happened? On the PC. Console gamers solve no problems. They are only creating. They are the women of gaming. Constantly complaining, producing problems, hoping somebody else will find the solution. And the solution is not buying video games from consoles, or playing or paying on consoles, which is sad, because they are the most collectible things in the gaming sphere. You have to think, most of the bigger collections in gaming were console related. Nintendo, PlayStation, and so on. Okay? Or even console that no longer exists. Okay? Those will go up in price immensely. There was this one guy who got all of his PlayStation collection basically traded in for the next PlayStation 5 just because of GTA. And that's exactly why they waited so long to do all this. They make people angry now, but no, in a couple of months, in November, from where I'm standing right now, I don't know when you see this video, or if anybody sees it. In a couple of months, when GTA 6 comes out, everybody will forget about this. Everybody who jumped off the PlayStation Plus account will, as soon as possible, go back. As soon as that storm went over, they're all jumping on again. That's why they don't share that information, who is online and not, because they all know the graphs are such a pitiful sight to view. Not only for them, for the community. But they don't share their numbers. Of course they don't. You know? And of course, PlayStation stock goes up because, hey, we will save a lot of money. We will do this so we can get more money out of gamers. We also were increasing the prices. Also, we're no longer eating the cost, because every console to this point were sold at a loss, because they know that they can make the money back on gaming sales. That's why they were so expensive, those games, back until now. And they were getting even expensive in the future. Right? You have to think about this. This is the perfect example of a crack dealer. Oh, the first few times it's free. You're a good customer and I will give you some stuff for free. Oh, it's cheap the first few times afterwards. Oh, now I'm giving you pure stuff. That's why it's more expensive now, and the price goes up until they hit the point where the price can no longer be sustained by the material they're giving out. And then they start to cut down on that shit. Then you get the cut shit. Then you get the bad cut shit. Then you get the really bad cut shit. But you are so addicted to that shit right now that you, no matter what, will not leave because you need that shit. What we're seeing right now is not a reactionary to bad habits or bad things happening. No, this is the resolution for bad things happening a long, long time now, and now just the stuff that they are addicted to is now so cut that they actually feel the burn and the mushrooms growing out of their nose. You know? Because, oh, the baking soda did its thing. Oh. Now that I think about it, how do I know that? I mean, Europe, we don't have this problem. Well, we have a lot of mafia thing here going on close to the Italian border, but not in that regard, you know. We have more human trafficking here. Yeah. I wish I was joking. Woo! No, but anyways, what console players are now crying about is not that something bad has happened. They're just feeling the burn now the most, now that the bad thing gotten so bad that they can no longer ignore it. Okay? The hole in their nose bridge has become so abundantly obvious, and the returning of the teeth and the flesh in their mouth is now basically rotted away so much that they can no longer ignore what happens actually, you know? Man, the crack addict allegory works very well. Woo! But yeah, gaming will definitely change. And console players will probably, most certainly, absolutely, be not only the cause, but the most driving force to get it even worse. And worse, and worse. We will have two-tier gaming at this point. People who can actually afford hardware, because everything will get expensive until somebody finds a good resolution. Then everything will go down the hill, like in the gaming crash back in the 80s. Because everybody complaining right now gives it, oh, it's just like in the 80s, the gaming crash. No. This is a complete different beast right now. Completely different. Because in the 80s, it was the developers who left. The developers who were mistreated, not the gamers. The gamers got the bad games and the shitty support and all that stuff because the companies fucked with the development of gaming and said, hey, that's where the phrase code monkey was coined the first time. We can get monkeys to do your coding. You're not relevant. You are the creative, and the people who make the games are no longer relevant. So you have to go out. We can get cheaper interns who make the same shit, and then the game sucked. Of course, because the people who actually wanted to make the game got kicked out by the companies, and the same thing happens here, just on the other side of the bridge. Now they're kicking out the gamers because big companies and shareholders are more important to them than the actual customers, because the customers, just like the hardware sales had now, the home entertainment and the PC game crowd who actually buys our stuff is too small by design. By design, by the way, not because we cannot afford to go to build stuff for such a small crowd that gives us so little revenue. There was revenue there, but not enough. Because the shareholders wanted more, and always more, and they will never end more. It's a machine, it's a locust machine, you know? It's the whole, I don't know if I brought this up probably a couple of times already, because I'm an idiot. The whole locusts are driven by two things. The swarm is driven by two things. And I mean the actual insect, not the Gears of War kind, maybe. Two things drive a swarm. Hunger and fear. There is hunger in the front because everybody who is up first in the swarm gets to eat the most. The middle part gets to eat the least because already in the front there was already a big harvesting going on and only the scraps remain, if any. And in the back they panic because everything that is way behind back is a cannibal and will eat their kind. So this machine rolls and rolls and rolls until it burns it out. The same you see here. And you can completely, abso-fucking-lutely be sure that they will bring back a very cheap, quote-unquote, in the near future, probably with the PlayStation 6 or shortly after, a retro console release with a disc drive. Or something close to it. Or something that is retro, and you can play everything will be digital, okay? I don't think that they will ever bring back anything hardware related or anything tangible that you can give away, because they know exactly that this is money that they lose, and they always lost that. We already had this multiple times. I don't know how many times I have brought this up right now. Ever since there was home entertainment media that you can bring home, there was a fight. Because every time you bring something home and can have something, this is not only one purchase, but also a purchase or multiple purchases that they lost. When it was VHS tapes or Betamax or the old audio cassette tapes, the same goes with the CDs. They were always fighting this, but people can copy this. And they lied, they attacked, they get the most elaborate schemes by politicians and the state subsidized. Remember this good, the FBI warnings on in front of VHS tapes. This medium is protected by chemicals so cannot be copied. All of this shit. CDs with their elaborate burning protection in the earlier games in the early 2000s, with gaming 90s, early 2000s. Okay, just around 99, 2005 around, where we all got every problem in gaming back then was CD protection. Okay, because you cannot copy our stuff. We need to fight this as much, even when it costs us money and costs us customers, because the only people who could actually play our games are the pirates. And then we blame the pirates for not selling well. For example, I see it back here, for example, in my shelf, No One Lives Forever. Was one of the major Monolith Studios. That studio that everybody was crying a couple of months ago that it was closed in the beginning of the year, right? Monolith Studios, who did actually good games, who were actually making good games, who had stuff like Blood, and like I said, I'm phasing out right now. But no Monolith Studio, okay? Complained back then, No One Lives Forever 2 will be the last one, because the first and the second game were so unwell received, even though everybody liked that game. Everybody was very funny, because it was basically Austin Powers and a beautiful woman as the main protagonist. I wonder, how could an attractive woman in a video game where there are supposed to be no women in gaming? How does this correlate? But everybody's lying, And everybody loved this game, but it didn't sell very well, because in the early beginnings nobody could play the game, because the the data protection on the CD were so shittily made and so buggy that nobody who bought the game without a CD crack later on, which literally was the first patch that they released, was an indirect CD patch to basically circumvent internet. And that's, you have to think about this. You buy the game, cannot play the game, because the protection on the CD that you bought wants to provide you, because this is not an original. You cannot play. You have to think about this. And this was the early 2000s all over, and they complained constantly that, hey, do this, don't do this, don't do this. And this is at the same time around 2005 and then 2006. Remember what happens in 2006? Everybody was complaining about Half-Life 2 and the online requirements that then later on became the Steam store. But everybody was like, but wait, the game runs now, even though it was leaked a half year earlier by some Russian dude. The complete game you could already play, and still it was very well received. You know why? Because even though it was an online requirement back then, it was less shittier and easily available and all the other games in that time frame. And then they slowly pulled back on their extreme hard data protection on their CDs, and all of a sudden it was still a problem, but not anymore. And then Steam rolled slowly out. You have to you only work when you buy it on Steam or buy a physical copy and then reactivate it on Steam, and the game worked. On first try, without a patch, without being angry about that the disk protection fucks you over all of a sudden. And this is where all this gone slowly in motion. Again, and all those shitty protections that they had on the consoles, for example. Oh, you cannot play PlayStation games on the PC because the disc is black. No, it's just the color of the disc. You could put it in because the emulators were in the first half year when PlayStation came out, PlayStation 2 by the way, came out, the first few emulators were already, they even sold a unlicensed emulator at one point, and those boxes go for a fuck ton of money right now, with a controller even. Remember that shit? Oh, there's a whole lot of history about that. Or you cannot play burnt CDs on the PlayStation 2. You just have to stand it up. And the hackers had nothing to do with this. You just burn a CD, stand the thing up, and the decoding doesn't work anymore. All of this because they were fighting the customers more than the pirates. But couldn't get, and the same thing we see here now. They're fighting the customers again, knowing very well that the customers will come back because the toy is too good to play. The toy cannot be ignored because the crack addiction to gaming, oh my goodness, I cannot stand it, is too good or too extreme for them now. That they cannot go away. Or they cannot buy a PC because a PC is too expensive to build or even buy. Even when you buy a crappy build PC, you cannot buy it. That's why the whole guys of Meta PC, for example, are mostly doing YouTube videos now that are kind of gay. A little bit. I like those guys. They are funny as fuck, but they kind of... Why does every short video I see about them sounds like they're making gay porn from the 90s? I mean... If you once notice it, you cannot unsee this. Sorry, guys. Sorry. I will not be mean or anything, but that's what I see here, okay? The overhyped. Yeah. Oh, have you seen it? Why is there only the music missing? Okay. Hype it a little bit down because it's overhyped. Early YouTube thing is coming back and like, oh, this is so cringe, like the kids say. But hey, if it gets the clicks, if it gets the views, okay. But they also don't sell any pre-builds anymore. Besides people with fuck you money, apparently. I wouldn't be able to buy because the only pre-built businesses that we have, I cannot afford a $5,000 PC here because that's what they built for. And even the mid-range would be $3,000 nowadays. Just for the components, not even at the time that somebody would have to pay for someone to build them. I build my systems normally myself, but too expensive. So the console gamers are basically between a rock and a hard place. What will they do? They will go back. There is no place to go, and this is by design. Like they always say, oh, but 80% of our customers already buy digital. Yeah, because you set it up to be this way. Again, the typical crack-selling dealer thing. You make it impossible to go to another dealer. Because another dealer has under other prices or doesn't even pay to you because of bad reputation or anything. You only have that one guy. You only have that one dealer. And the dealer knows. When the pressure is on and the itch starts, you will come back. You will come back. Maybe a handful will actually either die, get cold turkey, or something else. But the majority will come back, and they know this. That's why they don't fear the whole. Oh, we're boycotting now. Oh, there is a change.org. They wouldn't even give a shit about that. Okay, as long as the shareholders give them money. The only thing that could happen that actually the console players, and it's always the console players, would actually grow a dick and balls and would actually say no. And actually would hold on to their promises that they always make and never hold. Because they always say, we will not. And then you do. Every time. And that's the problem that we have. Gaming will change. Gaming will completely change. The quality will go down, as it already is, because, oh no, but there are the indie games will go down in quality as well, because they will then have the strain of producing so much material over time, and those who are not producing in time will die out, because they have to basically compete not only with prices, but also with the speed of the next release cycles. You know, that's the problem. AAA, they are already winding down, as we see right now. Physical media is already moving on to basically go extinct, or the way of the dodo, you know, getting harvested until there is nothing left. What else is there to be? Oh, Sony already cut down on its production, and the factories either going to different project or doing nothing anymore and getting layoffs. What else is there? It's like you are already. It's not that you're standing on a cliff of decisions where you can walk back. There is no walking back. You're already falling, and the darkness will consume you. Hold on what you have right now and enjoy it as long as you can, because I mean, you all watched the ending of the Amazing Digital Circus. I mean, better read actually I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream for learning actual valuable lessons about humanity. But hey, it's not a bad show, you know. But it's that. You are the NPCs in the computer. You are not escaping, because there is no escaping, because you are what you are. There is what it is. The end has already happened. You're just living in the apocalypse and haven't even noticed it. You're living in this la-la land of complete denial for so long that now that you actually notice, oh wow, shit is fucked. Yeah. Is there a possibility of rebuilding? Yeah, but not by you. Not by those people, not by your kind. This will take longer than I will be around, probably. What this will be, maybe we have a hobbyist crowd that then basically blow up until big companies take over and destroy that, because it's what always happens. Like every other hobby, because everything will be strip mined at one point. You just have to move on. I mean, I have metric tons of books, booklets, manga. I mean, I've just recently found a stack of merchandise I've got back in the days from the first Stalker release. Yeah, those are stickers. I have a whole bunch of those. All the booklets of old games, Nox. Oh, even my instruction manual for my diamond acceleration card. Insane. Arx Fatalis, the follow-up title from Joe Wood. Yeah, Joe Wood. Because those guys made basically Ultima Underground, because nobody was making Ultima Underground. Actually, something that should be a thing that an indie dev maybe look into, because we're missing actual good dungeon crawlers with an original idea. Because I can give you ideas. The ideas is not a problem. Okay, the production is. Tribes too. I mean, I know there are still, man, Sierra Interactive. Oh man, Dungeon Keeper, Nox, or as somebody call it, not quite Diablo, and all of this, and more and more. Oh, the very small booklet for Ghost Recon. Man, this was small. Ooh. Man, when Ubisoft was not as Ubisofty as it is now, man. Oh, the days. And tons and tons, DVDs, manga, games, books, merchandise, even more books, I guess. Yeah. And magazines. I have all of this here. Most people don't have the space. I mean, I had to build this house here. Fucking Christ sake. People who know that my room was this corner in the back for a long time before I started actually discarding everything, and I actually started renovating. Most people don't have that luxury. I know I'm on the more privileged side. Apparently, having 15 years of pure torture is privilege nowadays. Because everybody else is just sitting in their mom's basement and, well, I wish I had it. Yeah, I wish I had this too. And guess what? I had to go through hell on multiple occasions. Come back with a giant spiked dildo up my ass. And still standing here. And I'm old now. Looking at what past have brought me. All the remnants of all my things that I collected. Not even on purpose, like I said before. It just happened because there was nothing else. It doesn't happen overnight, and this will also not happen overnight. I mean, I would love to see some big companies getting fucked up the ass with a rusty spoon and a chainsaw. Okay? I would love to see it. I would love to see some CEO cry on television. I would jerk off like crazy when I see that. But it will not happen. Because the people who could do anything are the ones that are the most compliant, but are the most cry-worthy. Okay? You could change it. But you won't. It's already over. The war is over. Because you didn't play. Everybody lost. So, whatever it comes here, I will get it around and make some weird contraptions as I usually do to play old stuff that nobody else cares about. So, I'm good. And I hope some younger folks after my inevitable disease and decay will hopefully pick up. Maybe not, maybe somebody will. But in the end, you can only hope for the best and expect the worst. Nihilism is the best medicine for situations like this. But the crying online and the whole, oh, we will fight. You don't fight. There is no fight that you do. It's crying. You're going boo-hoo and then go into the corner. And the next moment you're back. Doing the same thing again. Being a nice little slave. Nice little sheep. That gets either shorn or slaughtered. Because nobody cares. Nobody is coming for your rescue because you won't rescue yourself. Not like anybody that has 2 brain cells to rub against would say that to you for the last 20 years. Some people even say, yeah, it started with the Oblivion horse armor back in the day. This was one of the first try runs. It's probably going even further back than that. Hey, you eating the Soylent Green, not knowing it's your company's best friend, partner, work colleague. And this is where we are now. I go with the gallows humor and just wait what next atrocities and what next insanities we are getting. While laughing maniacally. That I can do good. You know? And that's it. So, cheers to you all. May hell have what you won't and hold it in front of you. See you around, man. It will be sad but funny.